Hi, today I want to show you how you can turn your idea into a real working SaaS software using no-code tools like Wized and Webflow. And the nice thing about that is we will actually use ChatGPT as well. So we're even going to take some help from our AI friend to help us write a little bit of code, and I'm going to show you how I do my prompting and how I go about those challenges, because I have no idea if it is going to work what I tried to build in this video, and we're going to go through the whole process how I would think about turning this idea which I have right now, that's why I'm making the video, into something that is working. And we're going to ask ChatGPT, and you will see me asking ridiculous questions you wouldn't expect me to ask ChatGPT. You will see me making some mistakes maybe. You will see me doing some things maybe not as client first as possible in Webflow. So this is really a deep dive to show that I have also no idea what I'm doing here. But it's not about if you know what you do from the first minute you start. It's about how you go about figuring those things out and how you come to your own conclusions and how you come to your own solutions by being creative, by being open-minded, and by trying new things out. And this is exactly what we're going to do in this video. So let's get started. Just so that you know, for simplification purposes, and those are 2 failed attempts already, but just for simplification purposes, this Webflow project is already connected to my Wized project. But I'll be also doing a video how to connect those as well, because I think a lot of new beginners will be interested in having just like a little guide about that as well. But for now, we're just going to skip that part just to make it a bit easier. So let's actually, in our body in Webflow, and we have to start with the Webflow structure, let's add a section. Let's do section in here. And I already have this turned as a grid, as you can see, just to save some time. And now I'm going to add a div block in here, just like that. The idea for this basically is that we're going to build a software where people can turn their PDF files into rich text. So they can basically then see it as text and not as a file, and then also copy that to their clipboard from the variable. So I want this field to be a drag and drop field. People can drop their files in this field, and then it will automatically transcribe them and add them in the text field in here, where people will be able to scroll and just read the whole text. So let's try this out. So first of all, I want to add a file upload, basically. And the way I like to do that is first start styling this div block and pretend it's a file upload. So we're going to give this a class of isFile, just so that we have something different going on in here. And I want to center that. And let's go to Reloom, and I don't like Reloom library, but I love Reloom icons. So let's go to Reloom icons and let's search for file. Perfect. And we got a lot of images. Let's just take any of those. Let's try like upload maybe. Yeah, we got better ones here. So actually I love that one. That looks great. So let's take like the medium icon and let's copy that for Webflow, and let's paste that in here. That looks great. I mean, this is already some legitimate design going on in here. Wonderful. Now I'm just going to style this thing a bit. So I'm just going to put this in a div block, and I'm going to give this like 2 rem to each side, or let's do 1. Yeah, that looks good. So I'm going to do 1 rem, and I'm going to do run rem as well, and 1 rem as well. And then we're just going to add a little bit of a background here. Look at that. And we're just going to round the corners just like that. I think that's a bit too dark, but let's just do something like this. Perfect. That looks wonderful. So now I can add my files in here, or I cannot because it's not functional, but this is basically the design. And the way I like to go about building stuff in Wized is first design it, then make it functional. Make it first look pretty. And now there's a whole controversy going on if designing in Webflow is a good thing. I like to do that because I'm not a designer. So I'll just take what is available to me here. And now I just want to add a paragraph, basically, or let's even add a rich text field, just like that. And I have no idea. I never made a rich text field work in Wized, so this will be Premiere. This will be something special here. So let's actually go in here and let's change the type to System UI, and let's do the font a bit smaller. That looks great. And I'll just keep it like this. And basically, that's our basic structure. We want to upload the file in here. We want to turn it into rich text and then have a program in Wized that is running do that. Now we need to make this functional, a bit more functional than it is right now. So that means adding attributes and adding some file functionality. So I'm going to use my favorite component in Webflow, that is the custom element, and this will be the file upload. So we're going to do file input, just like that. And I'm going to set this as an input. So I'm going to type input. Oh, that's input. Perfect. Here you go. And I'm going to add type, and I'm going to set this as file. Perfect. So now we got the file input going on. And here's a small tip. If you upload files in here, this thing looks ugly. But nobody is saying you have to use the file input as they tell you to. What I like to do it like add a little bit of opacity. Let's make this thing, let's give this thing a color, or actually we cannot because it's opacity. So let's remove that color. But now I have this file input here so that we can easily, we cannot even add a border because it's all opacity. But you get the idea. We have the file input here, and excuse me, I'm going to make this field where it's in, this div block, relative, this one, and I'm going to go to my file input, and I'm going to make this absolute, just like that. I'm going to do this full width. So now this whole field, which looks designed amazingly, is a file input, right? Of course, I cannot click on them anymore. I gotta put it to the back. I gotta do like -1 to then be able to access those elements again. But that's basically the idea in here. But let's change that back so we can access the file input. Now, I would love, though, to have an animation here, or like a bar in here, or something like this, telling me the file name. And we want to set a maximum height. So let's do 90 rem maximum height for this div block. And let's make overflow scroll. Actually, let's try. What happens if I do 70? Oh, it's not doing that because this one is. So let's do 70 rem. Or, oh, this has a minimum height. Okay, perfect. So let's actually make this 90 rem. Yeah, I have no idea about Webflow. So this is, we're just going to skip this part. Maximum height. I should be able to do 45 rem in here, or then be able, yeah, that seems to work. Let's try 30 rem. Okay, now we're talking. So we're doing 45 rem. Let's do 40 rem. Okay, perfect, just like that. And they both will have 40 rem. Perfect, and let's make that centered. Oh, it is already perfect. So let's see, just like that. In here we have that centered, and maybe let's try 50 rem. So we're just going to style this a bit so it looks good. It doesn't need to look too good, but it just needs to look good. Perfect. So yeah, maybe 45, but that is basically it. Yeah, because we want that user experience to look nice too. The idea here is that the user can see this in one screen without having to scroll, and we're going to show a bar in here that will indicate, or maybe on top, file uploaded. So now let's build actually that bar that will show file uploaded. So I'm just going to add a div block, not in the file upload, but I'm going to go to the div block in here. That is like this gray area. It's a gray area. And I'm going to add this div block in here, and let's already apply some fake styling to it. Let's do like 5 rem in 4 rem in height and 10 rem in width, just to know, like a little notch, like Apple did. And let's apply some color to here. Let's make this thing round, just like that. And now I want to make this absolute, and I want to add this to the top. We're going to center that later, no worries. I'm actually centering that right now. Let's center that thing. So, I cannot do that in here. I gotta go in the div block, and I need to center that. And does it give me now access to center that in here? Again, not a designer. So we're going to take it as it is, and we're just going to make this work. We're not going to center this one. We're going to just simply cover this up, that I don't know how to center this thing. Just like this. And we're going to call this contemporary design. Wonderful. So I'm going to add 1 rem, and I'm going to add another rem, and I'm going to add 1 rem, and so on. So we give it a bit padding. And now I'm just going to add a little heading in here, just like that. And we're going to add file name, just like that. Perfect. We're going to remove this space here. We don't need that. And now we can remove the height, and we can revert it back to auto. And we can do the same thing with the width too. Maybe not with the width. We may want to do a minimum width of 7 rem. Not a maximum, a minimum. As you can see, I'm not that really profound in Webflow. So, and let's give it like a maximum height, maximum width of 20 rem, or something like this. I would still have it though to attach, but we may not be able to get that done today. Let's see, inline flex, inline grid, no. Yeah, that's good enough. I can live with that. Or, let's see, we're going to go to div. No, I have no idea how to do that. So we're just going to keep it like this. And now we're just going to make it a bit lighter, just like that. Perfect, that looks great. And can we, let's see, inline? Okay. Can we try to do this inline? No, we can't. But actually, let's remove this styling here. And let's see. Oh yeah, because it's absolute, it doesn't allow us to do that. But let's do like 15 rem. That's good enough. So we have the file name in here, and the idea is we're going to upload the file in Wized in here, and we're going to show the file name in here that was uploaded, and then we're going to display this in here. So now I'm starting to add the Wized attributes. So I want to add a Wized attribute in here of Wized, and I call this rich text field. Oh, that's not the word field. I'm going to do rich text field, just like that. And on the file input, I'm going to add a Wized attribute of Wized PDF upload, just like that. And on this one, I'm going to add a Wized attribute on Wized file upload. Oh no, not file upload text, holder, file upload text holder, and I'm going to add Wized attribute of file upload text. Oh, file upload text, file upload text, just like that. Perfect. So now, after struggling for 15 minutes designing something in Webflow, we are finally done with it. And now we can go to the Wized part. Yeah, so Webflow is still quite a challenge for me. But Wized is not, so that is the faster part. So let's go to Wized. Let's reload that whole thing, and look at that. But actually, let's give it more padding. Let's give this to the side like a 2 or 1.5. And let's actually, yeah, that looks good. Let's do it like this. And if we're already fancy, let's just take an icon in here. Let's take a small icon. Let's add this in here. Let's do them flex. And let's make them next to each other. Let's do this 1.3 rem. Just like that. Let's make that text even a bit smaller. Or let's make the icon a bit bigger. Let's do 2 and 2, or maybe 175 and 175. Just like that. And now we want to make sure that it's fully aligned. Just like that. Perfect. So here you go. That is it. So if we now going to refresh that, we will see that we have our wonderful web application now fully built in Wized. I mean, now we got to start building everything in Wized, but we have our files. I can upload files, and yeah, so that's like the cool thing here. Now, actually, we want to handle the file upload functionality. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT right now to generate me a random PDF. Generate a random PDF with sample text. The nice thing about that is ChatGPT can actually generate you files because it can run Python, as you can see, and it is now just generating me like a random file that I can use for testing purposes here. And yeah, after this video, I hope that that you know that I'm not a Webflow designer. I'm just doing my best here. So, but we're going to be great on the Wized part. So let's download that file. Perfect. And let's go back to Wized, and let's take this file in here, and let's upload that file. And as we can see, we got the file uploaded in here. Woohoo! Perfect. So now let's ask ChatGPT, can you write a JS snippet to turn a file object of an PDF to an HTML formatted string for, oh no, it's not really HTML, I think, rich text, to an properly formatted text string that I can set as the text, because we're gonna set it as the text, set as the text for my rich text field in my vanilla JS web application. That's basically what Wized is. It's just vanilla JS, meaning you run JavaScript nakedly or by itself on a website. Perfect. So, browser JavaScript API, it's due to its complex structure of PD, blah, 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 blah. Perfect. So, one most popular library is, okay, to convert a PDF file object to a string suitable for a rich text field. In vanilla JavaScript, you'll need to perform several steps. This involves using a JavaScript library to read and parse the PDF content. So now ChatGPT gives us smart instructions how to do that. And oh, actually we want to update, and ChatGPT pointed that out great. We want to add on top of our file upload input that we can only accept PDFs. So we want to do accept, and then we're going to add application PDF. So accept application PDF. I'm just double checking. Yes, that is right. And now I'm going to publish that as well. And now ChatGPT also gave us this wonderful script tag. So let's just copy that as well for the library from which we're going to perform the function to actually turn this into a string. Let's include that on our body, and let's save that. Whenever ChatGPT gives you some things like this, and it will say head, but it will, like, you want to turn this more than likely into the body to avoid any issues with loading, and now it will give us the script to do that, right? And I say, please only give me the script stand alone as a snippet, and we want to make sure to not use too many functions, and please avoid useless function wrapping. Oh, wrapping, just like that, because ChatGPT always loves to do, let's put a function in a function in a function in a function in a function. We don't want that. We just want to have it as simple as possible so that it makes it easier for us to understand what we're actually doing here. And we gotta, of course, change that up a bit, but this is what we're going to do. And yeah, now it's going to type for us the script to do that. And it's really simple developing in Wized. Like, ordinary development would take way longer to build something like this. We just drafted the prototype in 15 minutes. Now we're asking ChatGPT for like 5 to 10 minutes. We're going to give a code that we have to rewrite a bit. And this is really super simple. So what we want to do here is we want to create an action in Wized. And we want to do, let's call this action create a PDF string, just like that. So I'm going to do this as an event-based action. The custom condition will be, of course, always return. I have to select this input field, and I'll be doing actually if, and I will put this in the brackets, if, and then I'm going to do return true. Just like that. And oh, and I could even do like else, and I would do return false, just like that. So if this exists, it will be true. If this doesn't exist, it will be false, just like that. And now I want to run a function. Let's do a run function in here, and that thing will not work at all. So we got to re-update this a bit. They have an event listener attached to this whole thing. We don't need any event listeners. We can remove that event listener, and then we can remove the lower bracket that will work with that event listener. And I'm not going to format everything properly. But actually, oh yeah, we have the formatter, so that's super handy. So we define a variable. I would just do a const actually. So let's just go through the code a bit. And they do another variable. We don't need that. We can do a const. And we have the var. Let's do a const again. And we have another var. Let's do this a const. Just like that. And let's do this a const too. Perfect. And let's do a const again. Now you may ask me, why do I do const instead of var? Sometimes I had issues if you do variables. It will just declare something throughout the page, and with a const, as far as my knowledge goes, it is not throughout the whole page. It will just be within that function, so when you rerun it, you won't get any issues interfering with other actions as well. But please correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, so what we basically do is we define the file, as the event.target.files. That's complete garbage. We want to have the file equal the file of our PDF input that is our input field right here, because we want to work with that file and not with the file that ChatGPT thinks exists. So now, if this file or the file.type doesn't equal application PDF, we will do an error and say, nope, that's not a PDF. Perfect. So now we're going to do const file reader equals new file reader. Okay, let's look into that, what it does here. File reader onload function, it will do const typed array new. Okay, we'll give this the result. PDF is lib get document type ready. Okay, that looks good. Console log PDF loaded, and we're going to assume we have all pages let all pages text, and then we'll just add like an empty array. Okay, and page.get page content done function, then function. Okay, we do text items. Okay, that seems good. We don't need to correct anything here. Actually, let's keep that as a var, the thing for index, because it's like a iterator. We may want to make sure that this is applied across all things going on in this function. Store the text of each page. Okay, we're going to push it to our own array. Check if all pages have been processed. Perfect. And then we have the function, and then we get this file reader.read file as buffer file. And now let's see, when we define the file, that is basically the function in here, right? So we will take the file in here. We're basically defining the function. Okay. So actually, let's write return. We may need to modify some things here though, but that is the idea. And let's refresh that thing, and let's actually create a variable real quick. Let's call this result. Let's do PDF result, PDF string result, and let's start this out empty. So we're going to do return. Oh, return. Return. Okay, perfect. And just like that, we're going to set this as an empty string. Perfect. And now let's refresh Wized, or actually we just need to refresh this one, so that we make sure that the script which we added on the file right back here is fully published and is available to Wized, just like that. Let's refresh again just to make sure. And we already got our sample PDF in here. It is uploaded. And now let's actually run this function. And I want to update one thing. I want this PDF result to equal, and we're going to get an undefined, which is okay. Okay, let's do this again just to make sure. And I'm going to reload that thing, and let's keep an eye out of this variable. When I'm going to update this PDF in here, I will get an undefined. So now the question is, why am I getting an undefined? So let's look through this again. Function, do we console log everything? Push all pages.text.push. Console log final text. Oh, let's do this as a const actually. We do const final text. We're going to join them. .get element ID. We don't need that part. ChatGPT did this for us. And we actually want to use final text in here. And we want to change this a bit. We want to do equals final text. And we don't want this part, actually. So let's see if that makes a difference. Because the final text is actually the result we're going to get. And that would be what will define the text. So let's add that in here. We have the file in here. Now it's not working. Let's see what we did wrong here. Okay, let's go to actions. And let's go back in here. And we have, this will equal final result. And let's actually open developer tools right now. Let's see what happens if I'm going to add a file. Error with permission policy, file page 1 loaded. Okay, page loaded. Let's see if we console log everything in here. Let's see, let's clear our console. Let's clear Wized. Let's clear that again, and let's upload a file again. Just like that. We have a file. Wonderful. Let's run this artificially. Maybe something didn't get triggered. And nothing happens. So let's take this code and let's go back to ChatGPT real quick and ask, why is this not working? And let's see what it comes up with. There are a few issues and potential improvements to the code snippet you provided. Let's address them. Mutate string declarations. The variable is declared as const, which means it cannot be reassigned. However, within the loop, you're attempting to concatenate strings to it. Okay, that was my mistake. Asynchronous handling inside the loop. Okay. And using this .result in file render.unload. Okay. It will improve that code. And once we got that code improved, we can try it again and we can see if we have any success with that. So that's the whole process, basically. This is really a behind-the-scenes video of, how I'm going to hack my way around those things if I don't know how to build them. And that's how you learn new things. Next time you can build it yourself. So I say, where is the result string text? I want this to be set as a new variable called result. We're going to change that to make it work in Wized, but that's the plan here. To set the result string text as the new variable named result, you need to simply declare result at a scope. Okay, perfect. Let's see how it did that. So we're going to do all this fancy JavaScript here. And let's wait till ChatGPT comes up with something good here. How we declare and set the result variable with the result text const. Okay, perfect, wonderful. We have this final text thing here. Perfect. I think that's a great, valuable thing. Always ask ChatGPT to declare variables and you change them up with yours. That is a great way to do that. Now, where we have result, we're just simply going to change that with string result, and this doesn't need to be a const. Okay, this is a simple PDF document, random text generated using Python, and we got our document red text. It's starting to work already. Look at that. We got that little thing, but let's don't worry about that. Let's see if I console log out that reason. Let's see. We can care about that later. It's working somehow. And let's close this and let's look at our variable. We got some text in here. Woohoo! Look at that. So now I want to go to this rich text field and we call this file text. And I'm going to go on, let's try set text. Let's first of all try probably HTML. And we're going to do return. And I'm going to set this as the result. And look at that. We got our text in here. So that is great. Look at that. We want to have the file name too, but let's actually set the file name too. That is very easy. I'm going to click on here and I call this file name. And I'm going to go on set text. I'm going to do plain text and I'm going to do return. And that's the cool thing in Wized. It gives you all access to the file you uploaded once you have a file uploaded. So let's add a file. Oh, I have to turn off X-ray mode. let's add a file in here. And look at that. Like, ChatGPT, that's the future. Perfect. And I want to go to file name. I'm writing return for the first one, and I do .name. Look at that. And if I run this, I will get the name. And I will see sample PDF. Look at that. I may want to set visibility for that as well. So let's go to file upload text holder. Let's do file name holder. And then I'm like to do like the brackets, visibility, just like that. And I'm going to go on set visibility and return if, let's add a file. Or actually, we could do something else. Let's go to this one, to the file holder, and I simply do dot length. So I'm going to do i.pdf_input.length will equal 0. So I'm doing doesn't equal, or actually is greater than 0, because that's false. But once I add something, the file input will be greater than 0 because there is an item in it. So now let's upload the file, and we can see we have that file name in here, and it is perfectly in here. Look at that. So we built this little application where I'm going to take a file, a PDF, I'm going to drag this in here, and I will have that text parsed. Isn't that wonderful? And we could now add some little features in here as well. And let's actually try ChatGPT to have us, will this work with rich text fields with formatting? And let's see, we may need to rewrite that function. Let's ask it. The method I described for extracting the text from the PDF is as the content of a variable result primarily handles plain text extraction. Okay, we want rich, you know, we want, after extracting the plain text, you can manually add HTML tags or use a rich text editor. Okay, perfect. But I want that in case, can you update it to format it as rich text if the PDF contains rich text? Let's look into that. Rich text is formatted text because, you know, since we got the power of AI, we want to get the most out of it. Let's see. So converting PDF text to rich text while preserving formatting with JavaScript that directly is the browser is significantly more complex than extracting plain text. The primary challenge is that PDFs are designed for accurate rendering across devices, not for semantic content structures like HTML. Okay, let's look into that. Still finds a solution how to do that. Map the PDF styles to equivalent HTML markup. This is this is the complex part, as you'll need to interpret the positioning and styling data to create meaningful PDF structures. Okay. Still doesn't mean that it's not possible, so let's try this. And did it give us a function? Perfect. And actually, let's go to Wized and let's take that we found to be working, that function, and let's go to the to the run function, and let's say, can you apply this principle to this code snippet which is working perfectly? Which is working perfectly. Let's add that code snippet and let's see what ChatGPT tells us. So to apply the principle of generating HTML with basic formatting based on the font styles identified in the PDF document, you can modify the snippet. Okay, now it gives us the modified version of the snippet. Isn't that wonderful? Like, years ago, this wouldn't be possible. You would need to be a software developer to do those things. Now, you just need to have an internet connection and you can do everything. I think that's a wonderful thing. So, wrap each piece of text in span with, okay, perfect. So, it will give us that whole thing. And we even have our variable defined. Look at that. And yeah, we're going to console log some things. And here we go. Perfect. So now let's take this and let's paste this in here. And I mean, it seems to be formatting something. I just don't know if it is the desirable format. And let's actually ask ChatGPT, create a formatted PDF with heading and some sample text. Perfect. Create a formatted PDF with heading and some sample text. Now we're going to get even more test data. And wonderful, look at that. And now the idea is that we hopefully will be able to turn this into a wonderful, rich text field using the Webflow rich text field. And let's see how that works. Let's wait. And we'll be able to get something soon. Let's download this. Perfect. And here we go. Let's try adding those files. Now is the moment of truth. Okay, it's not really formatting that. So let's say it's not really formatting that. And it's all on just one line without any space. Let's see what ChatGPT comes up with, because if you just stay humble, but if you also stay patient as well, so don't get too obsessed with perfection, but if you also at the same time stay patient and always try, you can come up with well, actually I did it to the wrong ChatGPT, but you can actually achieve great things with this principle. Because if you are not too concerned of the result that you're trying to produce here, but rather just make a game out of it. Like, let's see how far we can stretch AI. You know, can we do this? Can we do this? And if it doesn't work, you know, who cares? But if you just always try and are open to learning, I think it's a wonderful way to learn new things, because like, this is how you learn coding. You learn coding by making mistakes, by trying new things, and by failing, and by thinking, let's actually add that thing in here, but doesn't seem to be that easy. That's how you know that those things are not easy. That's how you get great experiences. And I think that is very valuable, especially in the field that you probably work in if you watch this video. So I just want to show like this video, and this is actually my whole process behind making my videos. It's just a lot of failing. It's a lot of trying this and it doesn't work, and trying it again and it doesn't work, and trying it again and again, and until it works. And it always works. It's just, sometimes it's a hassle, but you really have to love it. And I love it, so that's why I'm doing that. And I hope that you love it too, and I hope that this technique will help you love it even more. And as you can see, we got it formatted. We got formatting going on in here. This is why I love my job. We got formatting going on. Perfect. So formatting is working. That's great. Now we want to add we want to have like headings, because if I open that file, I assume we have better headings. Yeah, we have some headings. So let's say the formatting is, I cannot see what I'm typing here because my camera widget is in the way. So the formatting is fantastic, but can you also make sure to carry over headings as bold headings? And that actually may be my mistake. Did I set this as an HTML field, or did I set this as plain text? No, I did HTML, so it's ChatGPT's fault. and in the heading size as well. Again, I cannot see what I'm typing here, so I'm sorry if I do any mistake. Okay, inserting headings from PDF content, like bold, purely however you can attempt to apply some hieroglyphics based on text size and font weight to a... Okay. Let's try that. I mean, I always like to try it. You know, if it doesn't work, I can always revert back to the version that didn't work. But I'm always like, let's see how far we can take this. You know, like if we don't try new things, we don't have innovation. So I like to try new things and let's see how far we can take it. If we cannot take it that far, okay, we'll call it a day. We're going to stop with that. But if we can, we may did something amazing here, right? So let's see how amazing we can do this today. And that is really the magic of developing. You can turn your idea into reality, and you can see how far can I take that thing. Like, how far can we go here? And I like to go as far as I can. So let's try this again. Let's go to our function, and let's go in here, and let's try adding a file in here. If we cannot get it that far, that's okay too. We're not too focused on a specific result, but we still would like to keep it like that. So let's actually give ChatGPT our sample file. This is the file I upload, but the heading is still not bold. Can we fix this to show what did I type here? Like, oh gosh. This is the file I upload, and it's still not properly formatting the heading as a heading. Let's see what ChatGPT can come up with. That's, by the way, a great feature. Send screenshots and files and whatever you use to ChatGPT so it can analyze that. Because ChatGPT can analyze files, so if you have an issue with a file uploader and it's not reading the file, send it the file so it can tell you, oh yeah, that's a different structure here, and you gotta do this, and you gotta, you know, it works the same way with photos. And then it will probably just give you a checklist here and say, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. But let's then ask the follow-up, can you improve the code to make it work? And let's see. Perfect. And it's giving us a solution again. So we're always just trying to stretch it a bit further than we think it could go. And that really is a wonderful thing, right? Because we're now able to create new things that never existed before without having to have that big of a technical background. We just need to have that patience. Because patience is key. We're already 1 hour working on a file upload here. So patience is key. But if we have patience, we can accomplish wonderful things. And this really is a great thing. And actually, that may be the way the H1, H2. We may need to go to up to H4 for this, but let's see how this works. Let's try and copy this. And let's go in here in this function and let's paste this in here, and oh, look at that. We got it working. Isn't that wonderful? Like, this is great. We got it working. I can upload my file in here, and I'll see the file name, and I have that file formatted. Look at that. It's working. Yeah, Wonderful. So now let's I like to stretch things. Can you write a function in which I can copy the PDF string in the variable to my clipboard? Let's see, and it will probably give us a big thing and we gotta narrow it down, but you know, while we're already on that, let's go one step further, and for that we're just going to add a little div block, or actually a custom element, and let's do a button just like that. And I'm going to go to Relume Icons, and I'm going to go to copy. Let's take a nice copy. That one looks great. Let's take this one. Perfect. Let's put this one in here. Wonderful. We got our little copy button. Let's add 0.35 rem. Perfect. Just like that. Wonderful. We got our button. Let's give it rounded corners. Wonderful. Let's give it some padding style, just like that. That looks great. And let's actually copy this whole thing and put it under there. And now we actually want to make this relative, so we can do our magic. And let's do this absolute, and we're going to put this on the top right corner, just like that. And I want to give it like a little bit of padding, so we're going to do 0.75 rem, and I want to do 0.75 rem to the side, just like that. And now we got our copy. Now I want to add a Wized attribute on here as well, and let's call this copy rich text. Just like that. Let's save this. And now we will be able to copy our rich text. Look at that. Wonderful. And we got that in here. Perfect. And we got some content flashing. We're going to fix that anytime soon. And here we go. We got that thing. So we got that function. So I'm going to add another action. And it actually gave us a great function this time. And let's call this copy to clipboard. And I'm going to do an element-based action. And actually, I'm going to target this little thing here. And I'm going to do on event, click, and I'm going to run function. And I'm going to perform this copy to clipboard. And I'm going to do PDF string.result. Let's just make sure it's the right one. Perfect. And I should be able now to have that in here. So let's try this. And actually, maybe let's try this on a live page just to make sure. Okay. Oh, let's add our file in here just like that. Wonderful. And let's try copying that. And let's see. Oh, it doesn't seem to copy to my clipboard. Let's see why it doesn't. Okay, let's go a step back in here. Copy to clipboard, string, copy text to clipboard. Let's try return. That may be a thing, but I don't think we normally need that to do with functions, but let's try it anyway. PDF result. Oh, there's nothing in there yet, so I gotta add a file first. So let's add that file in here. And let's see if that will work. Okay, still not working, so let's check that one more time on the live page. And let's add that file in here. And let's go in here and let's click on this. It should perform the request. And now if I paste that, it still doesn't do that. So let's try a different approach. Let's go on here, and I want to see how we get that data. So before we return that on click, I want to console log this thing. So I want to do console.log. I want to do a function in here, and I want to return this string. And then I actually wanted to copy to clipboard. I think that's how you do that function. Let's check back. Copy text to clipboard. That's it. And let's just run this in here. Copy text to clipboard. And we're going to console log this just to make sure that this click is properly detected. I don't want to have that perfect. So I'm going to upload that file. And it doesn't work now. What did we do? Did we break it? I don't want this arc. Never translate this page. Let's add that file. Let's try another file. Now it doesn't give us anything. So what did we do? Oh, I did this on the wrong action actually. Where we have copy text to clipboard and we have set text. Now I added the wrong thing. So that was my mistake. So that was my mistake. I'm sorry. So we want to return this text in here, just like that. Perfect. That happens if you don't folder your things. I wasn't probably the best example here how to folder things. So we want to perform that action. So on this button, on event click, let's just try to prevent default, run function. We want to console log that v.pdf string result, and we want to then just run that function to copy it to the clipboard. And let's just go to the live site and let's do this. Let's upload this. Let's copy it. So I'm just clicking this now. It's crazy to see if it works. Oh, what did we do? And I still have that console log copied. But let's go to our console. Let's go to console log. So when I click on here, uncaught in promise, but let's clear that console real quick. So I'm copying that text, right? So what I want to do here is basically now figure out why it doesn't copy. So let's tell ChatGPT it doesn't copy the HTML text now to my clipboard. Maybe it's because it's HTML actually. That would be my guess, because let's troubleshoot this. If I'm going to go to the copy text to clipboard function and I would do, hey Joe, just like that. And if I were to upload, what's going on here? And if I now were to upload that and copy this, and let's try to paste it, it still doesn't work. So maybe ChatGPT gave me some wrong code here, because it's console logging that, it's detecting that. But if I want to paste this, it's not working. Let's see. So, ChatGPT faded. Here we go. Let's regenerate that. And let's try again. If you're trying to copy HTML content to a clipboard and maintain its HTML structure, navigator.clipboard.write text. That's the one. Perfect. So let's try this one. Actually, I made a video on that. This is such a bad example now. I made a video on using this. So yeah, that seems to be a good solution here. So actually, it's copy text to clipboard is an undefined function. I was using an undefined function for the last 10 minutes. Shit. Yeah, I have to put that thing in here like this, and then I wait. I'll put the text. It takes the. Oh no, what we're doing here. That's the function. We take the text and we pass it on here. So assuming your HTML is a variable, yeah, we would define that function up here, and then we would copy that to the clipboard. So how this works is an async function, and we're doing copy text to clipboard. We try this, and then we await navigator.clipboard.write text. We're going to apply the text in there as well, and then we say it copied, and then if this initial attempt to copy text to clipboard failed, we're just going to fail it. If that one failed as well. But if that failed, we try a different approach. So it's like a kind of like a 2-layer process ChatGPT gave us here. Let's try this. Let's upload our PDF. Let's click on here. Ooh, look at that. It's working. It's working. It's working. Wonderful. Just one quick thing in Webflow. I want to add a pressed animation, and I just want to go with a 3D transition that makes a big difference. And let's actually make this a bit bigger, and let's actually make this a bit darker, like this. And I want to apply a transition of all properties for 600 milliseconds. Let's see. Just like that. Perfect. That looks great. And now we have a visual feedback in there as well. That's like a little UX thing. If you click somewhere where you have to perform an action, let's go to the live site again. If I go on here and I'm going to upload this file in here and I click on here, I get a visual, like a visual feedback a bit, and I have that text copied, so the user will have a better experience. So that is how we turned a vision, an idea that didn't existed before, into a legitimate, usable piece of software. Isn't that amazing? Look at that. I have this page now, and I need to add Wized Cloak to make it even prettier. Actually, let's do this right now. Let's go to one of my projects real quick in Webflow. And let's go to Dashboard. And let's take any of those projects that has Wized Cloak applied to it. Let's take this one. Let's open that project. And let's add Wized Cloak to everything, because we don't want to have content flashing. So let's go to that. Let's copy this little code. I actually could just write that myself. And let's go to our site settings right here. And let's add Wized Cloak in here. Let's go in here. Let's add that. Perfect. Let's publish this. And now, perfect, we have Wized Cloak applied to that. Now we need to apply to those different elements. So we're setting visibility on this element. So there is a Wized action going on. So now we can add Wized Cloak to this. And I'll just like to do true, even though that's not needed, just to make sure, because with custom components, sometimes it has that issue. If you don't add true to anything or an empty value, it will just not recognize it in Webflow. And then we have this rich text in here, which will be set text. So we want to add Wized Cloak true. And that's it. Perfect. So now we will not have that content flashing when I reload that page like this. As you can see, there is no content flashing. Perfect. Let's go on that page. As you see, it just loads immediately. It's a beautiful experience. No content flashing, nothing. Let's reload this again. It's hard to believe, I know. Look at that. It just loads. Isn't that wonderful? And now I'll be able to drag my document in here. It will show the document file. It will give me that rich text version of the document in my rich text field, and I can click on here and I have it copied to my clipboard. Boom. We got it working. It took an hour. But think of it like this. You can develop software like this, and you can extend this however you want. Like this can be one of those pages where you have advertisements on this side, advertisements on this side, and they get 1 million users. It's a simple thing, but people just go on that website because it's free, and they like using that product. That would be one of those things maybe too. And you can build those things in an hour. Like before that, it wasn't simply not possible if you have a limited background. Now you can do that. Of course, you can even tweak more around and make it even better than I did in this example. But this shows that you can go from an idea that you have in your head, in your mind, to a realized working product in Wized in an hour, maybe even less than an hour. You can move, prototype, and actually build production-ready results super quick, super fast. don't pressure yourself. Do it slow if you want to do it slow. Do it fast if you want to do it fast. The possibility is here, and now it's up to you how you use it. But yeah, that's it, and I hope that this really helped you, and thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for all your time, this time even 1 hour, so thank you so much for that. I hope that this really helped you, and if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments. I'm always super happy to help out, and please let me know if you have any also ideas for videos. I'm always happy to do custom videos on this YouTube channel that just tailor your specific requests. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for all your trust. Thank you so much for all your comments. Thank you so much for all your wonderful messages again. And see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.